The Rock Room started in 2009. Prior to that, I was teaching guitar lessons at Shenandoah Music Store when they were located in downtown Winchester. This was about 1986. And eventually the store moved to its current location on South Loudon Street, where I continued to teach. I had students who would ask about playing with other people, and it gave me the idea to try to find a way to make that happen. So I started by putting an ad in the Winchester Star that I was looking for a place, and I really didn't expect any response, because who's going to rent out a place to somebody that wants to have a band that plays rock music? But I got a call from Peter Lebrecht and John Stevens. They were both involved with the Fort Collier Civil War Center on Martinsburg Pike. John Stevens and I had a mutual friend who played music, and so John knew who I was. So I went to look at the place, and it was basically 2 rooms and then an attached unfinished garage. And I thought initially that the room was going to be too small to house a band. But eventually I decided that I would give it a shot and put some time and money into some remodeling. So we replaced some carpet and did some painting, and I began to teach in the small room, and then we had another room at the entrance which was used for the waiting room. So we had the bands in that small room for a number of years, and eventually I got the idea to remodel the garage. Luckily, I had some musicians who were also in construction business, and they were able to help me to remodel the garage, and I was able to secure some donations from friend and family to pay for the materials to do that. Once we got the new room together, it really worked out well, and one of the first sessions that I had at the Rock Room, somehow I ended up with 15 bands. When we did our first concerts, they were held at the Youth Development Center, the YDC, and the first concert we had to split that up into 2 days to accommodate the 15 bands. One of the first bands that I had was Patrick Irwin on guitar, and Katie Perrell on guitar, and Dan Mead on drums. And we had Jeff Taylor from the Winchester Star come to take a promotional photo, and I still use that photo today for a lot of my advertising. Dan still performs as a professional drummer with a band called Bad Cameo, and Patrick Irwin recorded some of his own music and had some CDs out. After the concerts at the YDC, we then had some concerts at Grace Community Church, and we did that for a while. And around that same time, we were hosting some events at a venue that was located underneath of my wife Linda's hair salon, which was called Beyond the Fringe. And we had a space below that in the basement, and we called that Below the Fringe. We would have concerts there with bands and solo artists, acoustic shows, and that became a very popular place for young people to come and showcase their talent. I also had a blues band together at that time called the Johnny Blues, and it was myself and my wife, and we had Nick Pizzola on drums, and Brian McCarty played harmonica. and we did that for a while. We also had one concert outdoors at Fort Collier behind the house, and we enjoyed that. It was a little bit hot that day, but it was a lot of fun. And we had a young special guest sing, and his name is John Robert Reimal, and he eventually took some guitar lessons from me, and he had a YouTube channel that was very popular, and some scouts from the Ellen DeGeneres show saw that, and he ended up performing on her show 2 times. And he now lives in LA and writes and records his own music and is out on tour. And so we're very proud to have him. Another band we had that started at the Rock Room eventually became Southern Governor. And they now perform concerts and travel all over the place. And so we're proud to be associated with them. Eventually we had another show at the Alamo Theater when it first opened up. And then we had a couple shows over Apple Blossom. One of them was at a friend of ours had a party in their yard, so we had our bands perform for that. And then I had my bands perform for Sunday in the Park over Apple Blossom. We also had a float in the parade. We eventually started having our concerts at the local venue Sweet Caroline's, which was downtown. And we were there for quite a few years. That was a great place. We had a lot of fun there. Great people to work for. And about 2015, we put together an all-star band that performed at the Blues House concert, which was a yearly event that was put on in Winchester. I think that was around 2015. And that featured Lucy Martindale, Eli Bell, Coleman Bales, Sully Eagle, Jacob Pimbleton, and Laurel Bazicki. And Kim Waldorf was one of my guitar teachers at the Rock Room, and he worked with that band for 2 sessions so they could get enough material together to do the whole show, and they did a great job. There's a video on YouTube for that. I'm going to try to put links to some of these things in the description in case anybody wants to take another look at it. We also had a concert in 2015 at the Barns of Rose Hill in Berryville. That's a really cool place. We had a good time there. And we had one concert at the Blue Fox here in Winchester. That was 2016. And then 2015 we started having our concerts at the Bright Box in downtown Winchester, and we've been having them there ever since. We also added a drum teacher at the Rock Room, Justin Klein, and a vocal coach, Amanda Wilkins. When we had Below the Fringe, one of our special guests was Kara Britz, who is from Winchester, and she currently is a background singer on the TV show The Voice, and she's also the background singer for Blake Shelton. And she was here recently for Apple Blossom, and she and I performed at the Queen's coronation. In 2009, when I first opened up, we were visited by Dan Spears, also known as B, and Paul English. Dan and Paul are musicians that play with Willie Nelson. Willie was here with his band to perform at Hanley High School, and through a friend of mine, we were able to arrange for B and Paul to visit the Rock Room, so that was really cool. Unfortunately, both of them are no longer with us. As of 2022, in September, we are celebrating our 13 years in business, and I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to all the musicians and families who have supported the Rock Room and helped us to grow and kept me young. And I hope we are able to continue this for many years to come. So thank you all very much. And please come to our concerts, and we will talk to you soon.